Barbarian is a new horror film directed by the comedian Zach Kreger and released by Disney through 20th Century Fox. Even though I'm not really a horror guy, despite enjoying movies like The Quiet Place duology, Crawl, Us, Lamb, and of course these two childhood bangers, I was interested in checking out Barbarian because my friend Connor on Twitter was excited about it, and the fact that this was originally destined for a Hulu release before Disney decided to release it in theaters after successful test screenings. If they release Prey, a film connected to a popular franchise only on Hulu, while this riskier original movie gets a theatrical release, then it must be something special. So I watched it in theaters and it was great. This is a really cool horror film that offers a lot of surprises and it was really well put together. The best way I can describe this movie is Monster House, but if the house didn't come to life, and it's R-rated. The plot revolves around a woman named Tess who rents an Airbnb house and meets this guy named Keith who is a socially awkward fellow. That kind of reminds me of myself. She's confused about why he's in the house that's supposed to be hers, but they soon find out something twisted about the house. That concept doesn't sound very original on paper, but in practice, the film takes that concept and makes it both engaging and consistently interesting. I don't want to give away too much of the plot, and I won't even have a spoiler section, because this is a film that's best experienced when you go into it as blind as possible. The performances are really good. Georgina Campbell does a fantastic job as the main character Tess. Bill Skarsgård nails it as Keith and makes his socially awkward personality convincing whenever he talks with Tess, and Justin Long's performance as AJ is really damn awesome and hilarious. As someone who only watched, or in this case heard, Justin Long in Planet 51, Alpha and Omega, and the 4 Alvin movies, it was really refreshing to see him in a great movie for once, and I want to check out his other non-kids movie roles now. I also like how they were able to take a character who is supposed to be unlikable and make him entertaining to watch. He is portrayed as this TV actor who got fired from a TV show because he got #MeToo'd by a co-star. He's a bad person in the context of the narrative, but because of Long's performance and his character development throughout, he isn't a character you'd want to see die ASAP. The scares in this movie are fairly well done in my opinion. They definitely did not feel like cheap jump scares because of the unpredictable nature of the scares and of course the big twist. While they were really creepy and even gross, I wouldn't say I was completely terrified. I mean hell, I was more terrified by the fact that the Amsterdam trailer played before the movie.
No! God, please, no!
And how after the movie ended, I noticed that my phone screen was so cold and foggy because of the somewhat low temperature in the theater. Ugh. But anyway, even if I wasn't terrified, I was still invested in what was going on with the story and the characters, and that's how you know if a horror movie is a success. One cool thing about the movie is how in one scene, they changed the aspect ratio to full screen, the colors become more vibrant, and the cinematography becomes more loose. It is a cool style change, and it reminded me somewhat of Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. One flaw that I found with Barbarian is that it kind of falls into the trap that other horror movies fall into, where the characters make some stupid decisions that feel like they were done solely to make the movie longer, but thankfully it's not that frustrating, and the characters can't be considered idiots, outside of AJ of course. So at the end of the day, Barbarian is a fun horror flick. It isn't perfect by any means, and I do prefer The Quiet Place duology and Lamb over it, but I still enjoyed myself in the theater watching it. I am happy that Disney allowed this bold and daring movie to be released in theaters, and I'm extremely happy that it is making a lot of money at the box office. Considering that 20th Century is planning to release only 2 to 3 films annually in theaters, and those 2 to 3 films will be franchise focused, I really hope this movie's success changes the minds of the execs at Disney so that they can release more original films like this and get money from that Blumhouse crowd. If you are into horror films, I definitely recommend checking out Barbarian in theaters. When I watched it, there was one couple in the theater, and afterward, the woman said it was better than The Invitation. I haven't seen that one, but considering that movie's bad reception, I'm glad I saw this one in theaters instead. If you're iffy about seeing this in theaters, then the movie will be available on HBO Max and Hulu in about a month, I think. And like I said before, it is best to go into it blind. I didn't see any trailers in full, and I only read the basic plot synopsis on Wikipedia, so the experience was more enhanced because of that. I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10. A great horror movie that offers many surprises and memorable performances. So that's my review of Barbarian. Let me know what you think about this movie and also my review. Remember, constructive criticism is always welcome. So what will be my next horror movie? Ooh, interesting.